Welcome back, everyone. We are now going to proceed with our next 10-minute presentation, which is from the Penetangular Regional Economic Development Corporation, which is PMD 14-P1.35. Mr. Coristine, please proceed.
Thank you. My name is Ron Coristine. First of all, the Penetangular Regional Economic Development Corporation is an economic development agency, a not-for-profit organization incorporated in Ontario. We are governed by a board of directors, and board members bring a wealth of business and community knowledge to their role and represent several key business sectors, such as banking, real estate, manufacturing, energy, and agriculture. Our views about risk and the DGR. We are aware that there are 4 options for storage of low and intermediate level waste. First, the existing Western Waste Management Facility, which was established as interim storage. Second, the enhanced surface storage at the WWMF. Third, the proposed DGR in the Cobourg Formation. And fourth, the proposed DGR in granite bedrock. Each of these has relative merits and risks. The existing waste management facility is an above-ground facility where waste is housed on the Bruce Power site. The positive aspects of this option are that it is already in place and there are experienced people managing it. The risks with this site are that it was not designed as a long-term solution, but as a temporary one. It does not allow for mitigation of risk if our society was to change in some way that institutions no longer had authority. In the face of climate change, there is the risk of a catastrophic event from extreme weather, such as tornadoes. We are aware that tornadoes are increasing in magnitude and are occurring more frequently at our latitude. In addition, given the long period of some radioactivity to decay, there could be issues with glaciation that would compromise or destroy any above-ground infrastructure. In our view, this is not a long-term solution. The enhanced surface storage option at the WWMF also allows low and intermediate nuclear waste to remain above ground. The enhancements include compaction and more robust storage buildings. This will mitigate against the large land area that would otherwise be needed by current above-ground storage over time and provides protection from radiation. However, the risk from extreme weather, glaciation, and social collapse remain. In our view, this is not a viable long-term solution. The proposed DGR in granite bedrock appears to be a sound option. The Canadian Shield is stable and farther removed from urban and rural areas where people live. Experience around the world tells us that sedimentary or granite rock are appropriate for a DGR. However, choosing the granite of the Canadian Shield would mean that all low and intermediate nuclear waste from all nuclear power plants in Ontario would have to be transported some distance, along new routes, and through different communities. This will require planning and greater transportation costs. These factors are not insurmountable, but there is no efficiency in this option. This option puts the waste out of sight and out of mind for most of us who live close to the 49th parallel, but adds time, cost, and additional risk. Finally, granite is susceptible to fracturing during the construction process, which poses a challenge to ensuring a proper seal if such fracturing were to occur. These factors taken together indicate that this option is questionable. The proposed DGR in the Cobourg Formation makes sense and, in our view, offers the safest option. Low and intermediate level waste is already on site and simply has to be moved a relatively short distance to the proposed DGR. Transporting waste here from other parts of Ontario is already a reality, and the safety record of that transportation is exemplary. The community and those who work at Bruce Power are accustomed to the presence of low and intermediate level waste. We have been doing it safely for more than 40 years. A recent fire event at the waste isolation pilot plant near Carlsbad, New Mexico raises questions about the efficacy of a DGR. I read the U.S. Department of Energy Office of Environmental Management accident investigation report on this incident to learn that the fire was due to human error in the form of inadequate fire protection, resources, and training, a lack of rigor in ensuring safety for personnel, and a perspective more aligned with mining than with nuclear management, to name a few of the direct and indirect causes. Based on what I have witnessed living in this municipality, the safety culture within OPG would not stand for accumulation of 10 contributing causes as occurred in New Mexico. A second incident at the New Mexico site involved the release of radioactivity into the air. This is cause for concern. The accident report for this radiological release event found, and I quote, "The cumulative effect of inadequacies in ventilation system design and operability, compounded by degradation of key safety management programs and safety culture, resulted in the release of radioactive material from the underground to the environment and the delayed ineffective recognition and response to the release." End of quotation. Here again, it is clear that the problem was not in the DGR itself, but resulted from human error and mismanagement. There are many more reasons why the proposed DGR in the Cobourg Formation is a sound choice. This is a community that has hosted the nuclear industry since 1968. That's 46 years. We are comfortable with having a nuclear power plant in our backyard. Many employees at the plant are our friends and neighbors. They live in this community, raise families, shop, volunteer, and contribute in so many ways to making this a great place to live. The Kincardine community is well educated about the nuclear industry and associated risks, thanks to the continuing work of OPG and the WWMF to ensure open and transparent communication. Our experience with nuclear power, first when the plant was owned and operated by AECL and now by Bruce Power, is that the industry is well regulated and safety conscious. There was no question about the efficacy of operating a nuclear power plant here when it went from public to private operation. We have the experienced workers to develop and operate a DGR here. Shifting the solution to a new location will add risk that an equally experienced workforce may not be assembled or maintained in a remote location. Based on our observations of the importance of safety to Bruce Power, OPG, and the nuclear industry, we feel that this culture of safety will be easily transferred to the new DGR. The safety on site extends to the transportation of waste. Over the past decades, there have been very few incidents, and none of these have posed a risk to communities. In 2010, there was a campaign to petition the provincial government to build a third nuclear reactor here, Bruce C. While the proposal did not go ahead, more than 10,000 people signed the petition. This demonstrates the extent of support for and comfort with the nuclear industry here. The entire nuclear industry, including the proposed DGR, is subject to regulation by the Canadian Nuclear Safety Commission. Council members of the municipality of Kincardine visited DGRs in Sweden and the United States to see firsthand what a repository looks like and how it is managed. After these visits, Council did not waver in its support. The information about the DGR over the past decade has been very forthcoming. The opportunities to ask questions and obtain more information have been constant. There is no question on my part that the process has been transparent and the information almost exhaustive. Information about the safety and public protection afforded by the Cobourg DGR indicates it is isolated from drinking water and surface water. The rock formations have a history of stability over a period of 450 million years and provide a natural and effective barrier. Because we have no concerns about safety, we can speak about economic development factors associated with the DGR at the proposed site. It is expected to create 200 jobs during construction and 40 jobs during operation. This is a benefit to the community in many ways: more decent paying jobs in which families can live, more economic activity as families purchase goods and services, and so on. We are comfortable knowing that the waste will be buried in a stable rock formation, removed from people and weather, managed by experienced workers, and properly monitored. In summary, we support the DGR being developed at the Cobourg site because it is a safe site and the most sensible of the four options. The industry is well regulated for safety, and those working in it are safety conscious. The public and our local government are supportive of it. It will bring additional jobs and economic spin-offs to our community. And finally, it's part of who we are.
Thank you, Mr. Coristine.